2014 already. It seems like it doesn't seem that long ago, but already 2014 when the Railers took on Lanphier.
Yeah, we knocked them off here at our place, 57-34. Gavin got 30 that night as they were the number one ranked 3A team in the state, and we ended up, of course, going on to state and finishing second. Josh, this has been a really bitter rivalry at times over the years. It goes back to 1944. During the 50s, we knocked them off. Bob Nika, who eventually would become their basketball coach, and Chuck Bisher, who would eventually become the coach over at Peoria Central, were teammates on the 54 Lanphier team, or 55 Lanphier team.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
we're just a wealth of
useless information.
Well, no, I wouldn't say useless. They kind of talked about that in Collinsville, didn't we? Had a nice night at Collinsville and sat around. And
we knocked them off on a last-second shot, ended up going 18-12 and making it to the Sweet 16 over at Champaign. And Bob Nika was bitter about that for years. Of course, the next year, we were 24-2 going into the sectional final, faced them, and they beat us on a last-second shot. They beat us in overtime at the Armory for Derber's junior year. We had them beaten really here at our place in '83, Larry Lesson's junior year, and they came back and got it tied and won the game in overtime. Ed Horton came in this place Donnie Isles' sophomore year and put on a Superman cape on the sideline as they were about ready to win. And again, you know from your own experience what a rivalry this could be from that '96 game.
Yeah, it was one that I still get people, whether I'm in Springfield or whether I'm in Lincoln, will come up and say, do you remember the triple overtime? Well, yeah, of course I remember the triple overtime game. I was a little bit of a part of it. So it's, it's one of those things where you get two good programs. And you got programs, but you've also got just a boatload of talent. I mean, you talk about maybe the most talented to ever wear a Lanphier uniform, who kind of slowly came up the ranks, was Andre Iguodala. I'm not sure how much the University of Illinois gave a look at Andre Iguodala, but man, he went on to Arizona and had a heck of a career, still playing in the league right now. And there's just been a lot of talent, a lot of good coaching from both teams, obviously, and it's been fun to be a part of.
Well, you played against the Walker brothers and Victor Chukwudebe, who ended up over at Illinois, and they had Richard McBride, who ended up over at Illinois. Going back, you go to Kevin Gamble, who ended up having a nice pro career after playing at Iowa. Ed Horton played at Iowa. They've had a lot of talent go through that program, but they've also had some down years too, where they haven't been very good. And our program really, if you look at it and go back the last 40 plus years, we really haven't had what you would call a down year.
Well, that just separates a program, I think, and as you said, Jay, we tend to think sometimes if you don't get a sectional or all the way to the state tournament that you've had some sort of a down year, but this thing just keeps turning out 25 win years, and we've almost seemed to come accustomed to it.
Well, and Josh, you can go back and look at our history, and you can look at teams maybe that won 16, 17 games, but I also look at it from a different point of view as, did the kids and the coach get every bit they could have out of the talent that they had on the floor? And most times I think we can say yes, especially over the last 40, 50 years here.
Yeah, you're right. And talk about the jobs that the coaches do on seasons, and there's been a ton of talent that come through Lincoln, obviously, and coach has been blessed with hard workers and talented basketball players. But you look back already at the start of this season, maybe one of the best jobs that this staff has done.
Oh, I think it's going to go down in history definitely as one of the best jobs this or any staff has done. You had a very limited experience coming into this year, and even coach last year said, I remember talking to him, he said, we'll be lucky to score 25, 30 points a game next year. And I guess he's not close off of that, Josh, but I'm not sure he anticipated his defense would be this good.
Well, you're right. A good thing the 1-2-2 has stayed strong, and he has remembered how to instruct that defense, and is what kept us in a lot of games and has won him a lot of games here in the state of Illinois.
Closing in on number 900, he'd only be the second coach in the history of the state of Illinois to get to 900 victories. And that would be kind of the icing somewhat, Josh, for this program. We've had Hall of Fame coaches run through here, and to have a guy who maybe ends up being the all-time victory leader in the state of Illinois, wouldn't that be something?
Both teams out on the court, the Railers and the Lions. 15 minutes and 50 seconds left before we're going to tip it off. We're going to take another break. We'll be back here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball. Definitely a guy the Railers are going to have to key on.
Correct, and they've got a kid played in the middle somewhat last year, Austin Robinson, a 6'6" senior. He's a pretty good-sized kid, and he could cause some problems in the middle as well.
Yeah, they've got a young man by the name of Randy Rice Jr., who Randy Rice was a 1998 graduate of Springfield High School, who I had a lot of battles with, and then went on to play summer baseball with, who might be the best athlete that I've played with, baseball and basketball combined. I'm assuming that's his son out there. I've not talked to Randy, but a guy that's, as far as the genes go, has got a lot of talent.
You know, your past is coming back to haunt you in some ways.
When you've got kids, you're right. When you've got graduated with guys that have kids that are now playing here in high school, you start to feel a little older.
Randy Rice's kid is playing for Lanphier, and you had Tyrese Bryson on the bench down in Collinsville.
Yeah, a lot of guys I didn't necessarily like to see wearing a basketball uniform, but good friendships now, and boy, what some of the games we had when those guys came to Lincoln and we got to compete against.
You know, Josh, it'd be interesting to see who steps up. We've had different guys step up. We had, last night we saw a little bit different look from Lincoln offensively. They got the ball to Peyton Cook on the baseline against Muhammad's zone, and Cook was able to knock down a couple of those 12-footers off the baseline. And boy, if he can start doing that on a consistent basis, where he can step out there, where he can get buckets inside and step out and have about a 12-foot game, he's going to cause a lot of teams a lot of problems.
Yeah, you're right. And what I'd love to see last night also was Paulus, Elijah, just kind of taking over that game when a senior needed to do the senior duties, right? I mean, it was nice to see him really come up big, not only offensive end, Jay, but if you remember right, he stole 3, I would say, half cross-court passes. They were in the corner. Muhammad tried to throw it up to the top of the key, and guess who was there 3 times almost in a row on back-to-back possessions. And when you call upon a senior, and Coach does a lot of that, your captain, what does he need to do to make this team better? He's done all of that this season.
Yes, he has, and played probably virtually every minute of every basketball game. He doesn't come out very much at all. He's required to do a lot. That's get the ball up the floor and then set up the offense, and has added some scoring to it. And we've really needed him to ramp that up. But it looks like he's become comfortable with that point guard role.
Yeah, and I think if you would have asked Coach Al a year ago, looking to the new year, who would have been your point guard, I'm not sure he would have been the name. But as seniors tend to do, as competitors tend to do, they step up for what this team has needed. And man, has he been really, really good. Starting to look a little more offensive, which is what the Railers have needed. The defense seems to be somewhat under control, but this team has needed some more offense, and he stepped right up to the plate.
We talked last night about how this team had rebounded, and we had been about 50 rebounds on our opponents.
Yeah.
Starting last night's game, and Muhammad got more second chance opportunities last night than we probably would have cared for. I'm sure than Coach probably would have cared for. But did that concern you last night?
Well, early on it was. I think the Railers did a much better job after the first quarter, and it's kind of the same thing in Charleston. Charleston was able to hit the offensive boards early on in that game, and after Coach Al kind of reminded them that once you get a shot from the defense or from the offense, and you're playing defense, your job's not over with. You still got to go get the basketball, and I think it reminded them in the timeout or maybe at the end of the first quarter, and Cookie and Saucy and Bibbin and those guys, Paulus underneath with a bunch of backside rebounds for the Railers, kind of shored that up.
So let me ask you this, as a player and former player and coach, you've got a Lanphier team tonight that doesn't have the muscle that, say, Muhammad did last night, but these guys are probably going to be quick off the floor. What do you tell your guys? They're going to have to really find them and box them out.
Well, you're right. They're a lot of times they tend to throw the ball up on the bankboard and try and use their athleticism to go get it, and it's a different story from last night where Muhammad used their size and their strength. Tonight's just going to be athleticism and jumping ability, but it's the same thing. You still got to box out. You still got to make contact with your guy. You still got to attack the basketball, and if they do that, the way the Railer defense is going, boy, you can get a lot of stops.
Yeah, we don't want to let them get into a volleyball game up on the backboard, tipping it up.
No, not normally with the Central State 8 teams do you want to take on an athletic contest, and the Railers in the history of the Central State 8 and even in the Big 12, when you were a part of that and growing up and watching that, we've never been the most athletic, but man, we sure do a good job on the boards and in our defense.
Sure do.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back here from Royas in just a couple minutes. This is Josh Comnick of Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. Josh Comnick along with Jay Harden and Lloyd Kirby on the camera, getting set for the Railers and the Lions here from Coach Neil Alexander Court. Sophomores with the victory tonight over the Lions, improving their record to 7-1 on the season by a score of 53-34. The Railers getting set to take on their third game here on this week. The Railers played over in Charleston, victorious on Wednesday. Defeated the Bulldogs from Mahomet Seymour last night by a score of 47-33. And ready for Lanphier High School here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium in non-conference action here on a Saturday. Again, the Railers back in action. Got a Friday, got a week off, Jay.
Yeah, they just won't know what to do with a week off.
Doesn't happen very often. I mean, even back in my day, just got a text from former Railer Gabe Rutledge, who's back in Lincoln now, checking in on the game. And even when we were playing, you were guaranteed Friday, Saturday. We didn't play during the week, but the Railers back in action next Saturday as the team that only defeat them so far, the Quincy Blue Devils, come to town.
Yeah, and people need to come out and watch that Quincy team. That's a very talented Quincy team. It's a young Quincy team. The long court kid, I think, is somebody that a lot of college scouts
are going to be watching for a while.
Yeah,
you're right.
Very quickly.
Just a freshman, and I think he had 15 or so points against us over in Collinsville. Again, the Railers lost to Quincy, their only defeat of the season, by a score of 33-30. So hopefully we take care of business and we get a chance to get back at the Blue Devils.
Yeah, it would be nice to beat them here at home and put that victory, and it certainly couldn't hurt when it comes time for regional sectional seeds, Josh.
That's going to wrap it up for us here on the pregame show. After a word from our sponsors, Jay and I'll be back here in Lincoln to bring you the play-by-play action as the Railers take on the Lions. As always, a big thank you goes out to all our sponsors. This has been the Josh Comnick, Grau Incorporated, and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Gymnasium. The friendly confines, the Palace on Prim, where the Railers 14-1 and 4-0 in the Apollo Conference are about to take on their biggest rival. That's right, the Lanphier Lions made the trip up Interstate 55 to Lincoln, Illinois, and they're here in mass. They brought a crowd in here, a decent crowd filing in from Lincoln. We know it's slick out there. The side roads and the parking lots are still slick, so please, everybody, stay safe. Josh has stepped away for just a second. We want to thank you for joining us on WLCN 96.3 FM, the sports voice of Lincoln and Logan County, WLCNonline.com, and of course our YouTube feed, which is brought to you by Me Realty and Town and Country Bank, and joining us on the Mixler app. Put the Mixler app on your phone and you can take us anywhere you go. Let's send it back to the station for a 60-second timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lincoln Community High School for tonight's basketball action. Fans, as we gather here tonight in celebration of American sportsmanship and our precious way of life, and in honor of the many thousands of men and women who have served our nation and continue to serve our nation today, as we please rise, face the colors of the flag. Gentlemen, remove your hats. We also invite all veterans and active members of the military to salute the flag as we present our national anthem.
It's time. Crank up WLCN 96.3 FM. If you're out there at Walmart, turn their smart TVs on to our YouTube channel and crank up the volume. If you're at the watering holes, ask them to turn the TV, their smart TV, to WLCN's YouTube channel and crank it up. Josh, if you can't get up for a Lincoln Lanphier game, I don't know what's wrong with you.
You're right. There have been some battles in the past, and we expect nothing less tonight because two good teams coming in here to Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium tonight, and we're excited for a good basketball game.
Just about ready. Cameron Kirsch just about ready to give the starting lineups, and my broadcast partner Josh Comnick will bring you the starting lineups. First for the Lions of Lanphier.
Tonight's non-conference game features our guests from Springfield, Illinois.
First for the visitors on the scoreboard, the head coach for the Lanphier Lions is Mr. Blake Turner. Members of the Central State 8 Conference with a record of 8-7 overall and 3-4 in the Central State 8. Their man, first man out, number 2, 6'4", and a senior, is Ty Banks. 6'2" and a senior, number 3, is Cam Kincaid. 5'11" and a freshman, number 5, Jaquan Holman. 6 foot and a senior, number 10 is Randy Rice Jr. Last man out for Mr. Turner, 6'6" and a junior, number 20 is Austin Robinson.
Josh, the cast of Yellowstone has invaded the student section.
I see that. It's the student section out in full hillbilly gear tonight. Of course, the band in the background getting set for the Railers starting lineup under the direction of Mr. Neil Alexander. Record on the season 14-1 and 4-0 in the Apollo Conference. Looks like the starting lineups are the same for the last couple games for the Railers. First man out, 19 points last night, 6'3", and a senior, number 5, is Paulus. Elijah Paulus. 6 foot and a junior. Leading three-point shooter for the Railers, number 1, is Nelson. Camden Nelson. 6'2" and a junior. Where's the number 24 is Biven. Jake Biven. 6'5" and a junior. Number 22 is Saucy. Tyler Saucy. And the man in the middle 6'5", and a junior. Number 34 is Cook. Peyton Cook. Head coach Neil Alexander, assisted by Eric Ewald, Greg Alexander, Brandon Bird Farmer, Josh J. McMcClellan, Zach Dom, and Gary Rademacher.
You know, Josh, we've got some legacies of our own on this team. A Cook, we got a Nelson. Now we just need a Connick and a Verderber, and we'd be set.
Well, I don't know about the Verderber part, but the Connick will be there hopefully here pretty soon. So we'll be set as long as we continue to keep improving, I guess.
Both teams around their respective coaches. Hey, Coach Al he looks like he's able to breathe okay, and his face isn't swollen. So apparently, I didn't kill him.
Yeah, our voice of the Railers, Scott Kirby never did this. Brought us some Chex Mix tonight with a special recipe of Mr. Jay Harden. Gave some off to Coach Neil Alexander at before game. Possibly a nut allergy or peanut allergy for Coach Alexander, but we'll find out soon, I guess. Jay never checked in on that.
Chicago Street Rentals tip, controlled by Lincoln.
He was more concerned with the color guy than he was Coach Alexander.
I was. But you got kids, you know. Paulus, the basketball out front. Lanphier goes man-to-man. Nelson, inside Cook. Cook baseline, out front Paulus. Paulus long three, up and around and out, no good. Bivin tipped it away, and it nearly went out of bounds. Recovered by Lanphier.
Yeah, Lanphier on the push early, too.
Quickly up the floor, and Paulus almost had another steal on that cross-court pass.
Yeah, I'd like to see the confidence, too, of Elijah right off the tip. A good straight-on look from top of the key. Didn't get the three-pointer to go, but you see the confidence growing in that senior that willing to take that shot.
Kincaid to Rice, now baseline. It looks like Banks. He'll kick it back out front to Holman. Out front, Banks. Now Holman. Robinson covered up inside by the Railer defense. Banks out front. Banks goes in the lane, kicks it out to Kincaid. Kincaid, 5-footer up and good. Or excuse me, Holman, 5-footer up and good.
Yeah, nice draw and dish by Banks, and then Holman gets to the basket on a little runner there on the baseline. So good start for the Lions as they get up 2-0.
Lincoln breaks the press.
Almost like a 1-3-1 here against Lanphier, which is almost uncommon. It was strictly man for the Lions and might have thrown the Railers off here just a little bit.
Bivin back out front, Saucy. Polis between the circles. Polis, Nelson looking to post to Bivin inside. Here goes Polis. Polis to Bivin. Bivin tried to go down the lane, got hacked. No, they called traveling.
Yeah, and this is, again, a little bit of what we saw last night, Jay, with Muhammad Seymour with that 1-2-2 really spread out. Almost looks like a 1-3-1 against the Railers. And the scouting reports start to scatter through the state as you play more games, that the Railers don't have that consistent three-point shooter. And something I'm sure that Lanphier has not done a whole lot and played zone this year, but they're in it against the Railers.
Rice to Banks. Lanphier really spread the floor against the Railer defense. Banks goes into corner, Kincaid. Kincaid in front of the Lincoln bench, nearly tipped away from Banks. Now to Holman. Holman to Banks.
Yeah, Banks up there, top, nice-looking athlete, too. Good ball handler, about 6'4".
Inside good, Robinson, there he goes, muscles his way against Cook, and he drove the foul.
And that's a first on Cook, first on the team. And a guy that probably in this game especially the Railers can't afford to have in foul trouble is Cook, and he picks up an early one here about 2 minutes into the game.
Coach had talked about this in the past, that Peyton sometimes had trouble inside with an aggressive center, and it looked like Robinson's going to be aggressive going to the basket.
Yeah, and they look to get it in the middle. Of course, Turner's been there for years now, knows how to attack that 1-2-2. He's beat the Railers several times, and he will look to get it in the middle.
Lanphier makes one of two free throws. Robinson makes one of the two. 3-0 Lanphier, 5:50 to go here in the first quarter. Polis and Saucy playing catch with it in the backcourt, moving it up. Then the corner, Nelson. Back out front, Polis. Polis, Nelly, baseline Cook. Cook going to take the drive. Cook tried to go back to Robinson, and the ball knocked away, and here comes Lanphier. Banks quickly up the floor. Goes right wing Rice. Back out front, Banks between the circles. Left side, Holman. Banks. In the corner, Rice. Back out front, Banks. Banks, and tipped away by Lincoln.
Boy, he gets his hand on a lot of basketballs. Elijah Paulus, the senior number 5, with another tip away. Had one early in the first possession for the Lions, and he's just tough to score on over there.
Rice in front of the Lincoln bench, out front Holman. Holman with their only field goal. Nice looking freshman, 5'11 freshman. Goes to Rice. Rice out front Kincaid. Now they've got double post. Shot by Holman up, no good. And Lanphier quickly to the basketball. Kincaid chases it down. Looks inside for Rice. Rice quickly to the goal. Up, no good. Saucy hauls down the rebound.
Yeah, Rice out of control underneath, and a good job by Tyler. Tyler with some big threes in the fourth quarter last night. Probably got his confidence going as he hasn't been shooting the ball well. Big rebound there for the junior.
Polis, Nelson. Nelson out front, Saucy. Saucy to Nelson, back to Tyler. Saucy looks inside Biven. Biven posts to the free throw line. Cook posting down low. Now Cook will flash to the free throw line to Saucy. Now to Polis. Polis in the corner, Saucy. Look for Cook. Cook fronted by Robinson. Biven. And Nelson, long three in front of the Lanphier bench. Up and a Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer is good by Cam Nelson.
Boy, he keeps shooting, and Turner wants the Lions to push the basketball, but the Railers do a good job of getting back on defense.
No hesitation on Cam Nelson on that shot. Banks out front. Goes in the corner to Holman. Back out front, Banks. In the corner, Rice. Left corner in front of the Lincoln student section. Back out front, Banks. Banks works against Polis. Banks got it inside to Kincaid.
Travel.
Back out front, Holman, and Holman traveled. Boy, Kincaid got it in there. Looked like he had a free lane to the goal if he wanted to take it.
Yeah, you're right, and we'll see if the officials will do the mass timeout, which they will. So 3-3 here in the first quarter, 3 minutes and 56 seconds.
Let's send it back to the station for a 30-second Top Hat Creamery timeout. Back at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, where the game is tied at 3-all. 3:56 to go here in the first quarter between Lincoln and Lanphier. Mike Moskey Auction Service, one of our fine sponsors. Phone 217-519-3959 or go to moskeyauction.com. And Top Hat Creamery timeout. Josh, that would have been a great time for some ice cream right there.
You're right, yeah, and the Railers have done so far a pretty good job of holding Lanphier in. You know, they're going to look to penetrate. They're going to look to get it inside. They've already shown that they will go to Robinson 20 inside the lane. So they'll be disciplined enough to beat the 1-2-2.
Now it looks like a 1-3-1 three-quarter court zone press by Lanphier. Interesting. They're switching up defenses on us, and hopefully the kids will recognize what's going on. Nelson, right wing, right in front of us. Back out front, Polis. Polis back to Nelson. Nelson loads her up, and got it. Another Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer for Camden Nelson. Jeff Nelson wishes he had the three-pointer when he played.
Well, I think he just passed it to the guys that shot the three-pointers. I'm not sure Nelly threw up a bunch of them, but he was really good at getting the guys, and that time Paulus was another good guy to get Camden the ball. And as you know, Jay, once we get one going, we're going to get some more from Nelson.
Banks, 10-foot turnaround, up, no good. Ball batted in the air, and Nelson picks it out of there. And Nelson got it batted away in the Lanphier foul.
But I know that's one thing his dad didn't do was rebound. I do know that. And he might listen or hear about this, but I know he didn't get in there for many rebounds.
No, he left it to other guys to rebound. When you got Joe Cook and Mike Thomas inside and Mike Overby, you didn't need to rebound.
Right.
The foul was on Austin Robinson. That was his first.
Charge that last foul to Lanphier's Robinson, his first team first.
So two Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointers for Nelly, and the Railers lead 6-3 with 3 minutes left here in the first.
You know, we keep this up, that'll take care of that zone pretty quick.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know that they're used to playing this, so it becomes something unnatural for Lanphier.
Biven, Polis kicks it to Nelly again. Pass at his feet. Picked it up. Back to Biven. To Nelly. Nelly the long three. Up and back of the iron. No good. Rebound to Lanphier, and they're in a hurry. Here comes Banks. He's going to slam it home, and Banks jams it in. And the Lanphier crowd comes to their feet.
Yeah, and that was a tip away, too. A long rebound, and Biven went for the long rebound. And as he didn't get it, two Lanphier Lions did. And and Banks was out there. It shows what kind of athlete he is.
Yeah, we talked about that, as part of the ME Realty list of the game, or Me Realty list of the game. We don't want them to get transition points like that.
Right, and you don't want them to get confidence.
No.
And I think they're struggling with confidence coming in. They've lost several games in the conference, and you get them going, and they can put some points up in a hurry.
And from what we understand, they're not a really good shooting team, so you don't want to give them layups. 3 on the way by Saucy up, no good. Cook the board, up and good. And Peyton Cook brings the crowd to its feet.
Yeah, good job by Peyton. A little concern there that he might have went over the back on the first one, but he did not inherit the call anyway. And Cook grabs the rebound and puts it back in.
Drew Hayes going to come in for Tyler Saucy. Coach didn't substitute much last night, Josh.
Not at all. Not at all. 5 starters that played, that started the game were the only ones that scored. Saucy, Hayes came in for Saucy, and that was the only sub.
Cook up and good. It's now 9-5 Lincoln with 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Banks in the backcourt, still in the backcourt. Now gets it across the timeline, goes to Rice. Correction, that is Devian Brady, I think, in the basketball game for Lanphier. To Banks right wing. Lanphier's had a couple. There's Brady out front. Brady, ball tipped away from Robinson, and Cook, the long arms, grabs it out of the air.
Yeah, another turnover by Lanphier, and Cook with the quick hands, and Paulus able to come up with it.
Nelly, the long alley-oop to Cook, and that would have been a slammer jammer, and Cook couldn't get it. It hit the rim. Lanphier quickly the other way. There's Banks out front.
Travel. The shooter wanted to make the three, not throw the lob pass.
Banks to Brady in the corner to Cam Davis. Cam Davis in the basketball game for Lanphier. There's Davis in front of the Lincoln bench. Back out front, Brady. They look to go inside, and Drew Hayes stepped in and took the pass away from Robinson.
Yeah, Brady tried to throw a little no-look pass into the middle, and Hayes, the freshman, steps in and takes a pretty easy steal.
Paulus to Bivin, to Paulus. Paulus going to light up the 3. Up and no good. Front of the iron. Rebound Banks, and Lanphier going to push the ball. Here they come.
Yeah, stop the dribble on Banks.
Banks, I think he traveled there. Josh threw it up. No good. Cook had it batted away. Ball on the floor. Nelson picks it up.
Yeah, great hustle by Bivin, too. Just relentless, goes for it. No worry about his body. Tips it away, dives on the ground, and Raylor's able to come up with it.
Paulus, Bivin, now Paulus. Paulus going to drive. Kicks it back out front to Hayes, to Bivin. Bivin, Nelson. Nelson, out front Hayes. Hayes, Paulus. 13 seconds to go here in the quarter. To Hayes. Hayes, Cook, free throw line. Cook looking for the cutter. Let's see. There's the screen for Nelly. Nelly in the corner, 3 on the way, and he stepped on the sideline. Well, turnover will go back to Lanphier. Possession arrow favors Lanphier.
Yeah, last second play, and really it was a screen down for Nelson to come out to shoot it from the corner in front of us. But I saw where Lanphier was going to switch that screen, and that's where you've got to kind of pick that up. That screener's got to flash to the ball and take away.
Jashawn Richards inbounds to Kincaid. Kincaid quickly up the floor, throws up a 30-footer at the gun, around and out off the backboard at the end of one quarter. It's Lincoln 9, Lanphier 5. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the second quarter.
Competition today.
That number again, 257-1.
Lanphier have the basketball to start the second quarter. Josh, I noticed this week in the AP rankings, we were getting a little bit of love from some of the pollsters. We got votes in the AP poll, and the girls are ranked 6th in the AP poll.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they've got hit with the virus bug, from what I understand. So they've not played too many games this week. So hopefully they can put that to rest and get back on the court.
No, we're supposed to have 3 games this week. Hopefully we get to play them. Lanphier, a bunch of rebounds, and Banks finally knocks it home. 9-7 the Lincoln lead. Jaden Klopp in the basketball game for Peyton Cook.
Yeah, I think once he gets it too, Banks, especially around the basket, strong enough and athletic enough.
Oh, ball into Hayes, and Drew couldn't handle it, and ball quickly to Richards. And the ball rejected. Kicked into the backcourt by Lanphier. There's Kincaid. Cam Kincaid to Banks. Banks out front to Richards. Richards to Kincaid. Inside Robinson. Back, and he threw the ball in the backcourt. And on the turnover, it's going to be Lincoln basketball.
You know, just thinking about this game, you know, it doesn't have a lot of, obviously, not a non-conference game as far as the conference standings, but boy, what a game for the Railers in a regional seeding that this could be. If you can take care of a team that you could possibly see in a regional and, you know, get that ranking ahead of them, this could mean well for the postseason.
Polis, Nelson. Polis, boy, the Railer offense pushed out quite a bit. Nelly out to Biven. Biven between the circles to Nelson, to Biven. Biven, Hayes. Biven, Nelson. And now the Railers going to put a little motion. Polis inside Hayes. Baseline, Klopp. Klopp with a good fake. Got blocked going up. He's going to get the foul.
Yeah, nice pass by Hayes, but also a great pump fake by Klopp. He saw Banks coming over to try to block the shot. The senior did a great job of getting his the man that was coming at him up in the air and then went up. So hopefully Jaden can step to the line here and knock down a couple free throws.
Fouls on Randy Rice. That is his first and the team's third. Lincoln up 9-7. Jaden Klopp at the free throw line. First one short. Josh, we didn't do a very good job at the end last night shooting free throws. And
no, Nelson missed 3 front ends, I believe, and then Paulus was 1 for 2 once we got a shooting foul. So Klopp up and missed that one.
Missed both of them. 6:44 to go here in the second quarter. Banks to quick pass. That was a good pass inside. No good. Ball batted away. It looks like Klopp might have got a hand on it, and Polis comes out of there with it. Polis to Biven. They play catch out front. Hayes posted the free throw line. Klopp working the baseline.
Yeah, I'd love to see us go high-low again with Hayes and Klopp. Try to get it back into that middle lane. Elijah looked like he's trying to get in the middle.
Kick to Nelson. Pass into Klopp. Jaden back to Nelson. Nelly 3 on the way. No good out of the corner. Ball batted around, and Biven comes out of there with it. Biven to Polis. Polis to Biven in the corner. Biven going to drive baseline. Let's see what Jake does with a kick to Nelly. Nelly out of the corner, up and rounded out, no good. Ball on the floor. Robinson comes out with it for Lanphier.
Yeah, good possession there by the Railers, though. Hayes keeps the ball alive for another chance, and Nelly with a couple looks at 3. But just a little quicker, I think, on the release than he wanted.
Kincaid out front, goes Rice. Rice into Robinson. Robinson back out front, Rice to Holman. Holman out front to Rice to Banks. Banks has had a couple of chances to fire from 3 and has yet to really look at. I'm not sure if that's part of his game, but he's not really looked to shoot. They go into Robinson, and Klopp came over, Klopp came over to try and stop him with the hands up, and I think he'll get nailed for the foul. Yep, Jaden Klopp going to get nailed for the block. That'll be his first and the team's second.
Foul on number 33, Jaden Klopp. That is his first team foul.
Lanphier 1 of 2 so far from the free throw line, and it was been Robinson who's been there. He's up and off on the first.
And Austin Robinson's a kid. He's put together. He's 6'6", probably 215, Josh, and he's put together. He gets the ball down low. He's tough to stop, but not much success at the free throw line right now.
6'6" junior for the Lions.
Second one for Robinson. Up and back to the iron. No good. Rebound Biven, and Peyton Cook back in the basketball game for Lincoln.
Still the Lions in this 1-2-2, almost 1-3-1 look of a zone defense. Randy Rice Jr. at the top, providing pressure against the senior Paulus.
Post and Cook at the high post. And 4 Railers spread the floor against the zone. Into Cook, high post, goes baseline Nelson, back to Polis. Polis goes inside, layup time, knocked down, and the ball hit the side of the board. Robinson comes out of there with it. Lanphier quickly up the floor. Kincaid back out front to Banks. Banks over to Holman. Holman out front, Banks. Banks to Kincaid. Back out front, Holman. You know, Josh, our perimeter defense has really been pretty good. We got some guys out there with some length, some long arms, but I'm not sure 3 points in their game. It doesn't look like anybody's willing to step up and take it.
No, and it's exactly a great point right there where Cook has to realize Banks yet to shoot a 3. You know he's going to drive, and Peyton goes running at him, and then Cook gives him a little head fake and tries to go baseline. Cook picks up the blocking foul as Banks tried to go baseline. So, you know, almost there, you let him shoot the 3 maybe just to see, and you don't let him drive because it looks like that's what he wants to do.
Cook with the second foul. He's going to take a seat on the bench. Kloppy going to come back in. Banks again out front, and Polis with the near steal.
Well, he gets his hands on a lot of basketballs. He did it last night. Big defense for the Railers in that fourth quarter especially, and Polis with several tip-aways already.
Kincaid left wing, goes back out front. Goes to Holman on the left side in front of the Lincoln student section. Now baseline Banks. Robinson really pushing on Hayes inside, and Hayes may get nailed for the hold. There was a lot of banging going on in there, Josh.
Yeah, Hayes trying to fight around the post up by Robinson, just couldn't get around, and then tried to reach in and tap it away.
That'll be the first foul on Drew Hayes, and the fourth on the Rail Splitters. Lincoln ahead in fouls 4-3, and ahead in the score 9-7, 4:05 to go here in the half. Banks out front to Holman. Holman, Kincaid, Holman out the volleyball line, right corner Banks. Banks going to take the 3 up and back of the iron, no good. Polis runs it down, and here comes Elijah on the run, and Lanphier gets back really quick.
Yeah, good defense by the Railers by the Lions to get back. Good job by Polis too to rebound and try to push something.
Oh, and a dangerous cross-court pass, and Rice takes it away from Polis. Here goes Rice for the layup. Layup time good, and a foul, and it may be on Biven or Nelson, can't tell. Basket counts, and the foul is on Cam Nelson. That'll be his first. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout, 30-second Top Hat Creamery timeout called here by the Rail Splitters. The arcade right across from Gazzardo's. Great place to get yourself 1 scoop, 2 scoops, or 3 scoops. Josh, I think 2 scoops sounds pretty good right now.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're right, and hopefully we get done with this game just in time.
You know, we've talked about this. We cannot let them feed on transition or getting those turnovers and getting out like that. And, you know, on a play like that, Josh, I think you either got to let the guy go, but if you're going to foul him, make sure he doesn't make the shot.
Well, and I think the Railers have got accustomed to, in the last couple of games, of being able to throw that long cross-court pass against Charleston and against Muhammad Seymour. You can't do that against Lanphier. They're going to pick it off.
And that's the one thing that we probably haven't seen is a team maybe with this overall quickness that plays the defense that gets back to cover you pretty quickly.
You're right, and those, we saw a lot of cross-court passes. We saw a lot of overhead and chest passes yesterday against the Muhammad, or last night against the Muhammad defense. And it may be where you penetrate a little bit more and throw that up and under bounce pass to get through this 1-2-2, 1-3-1 Lanphier Lion zone defense.
Both teams back on the floor. Lanphier will be shooting free throws. Randy Rice at the line with 1. Game tied at 9 with 3:35 to go here in the half. This is the 113th meeting between the two teams since January 1944, and Lincoln ahead in the standings with a 65-47 edge. Now Lanphier presses in the backcourt. Here comes Biven quickly ahead to Nelson. Nelson had some numbers, and he pulls it back out wisely. Polis, hounded out front by Kincaid. Now to Nelly, out front Biven. Biven, Nelly. Nelson, out front Hayes to Polis. Polis inside Klopp. Klopp kicks it to Nelson. Nelson loads up to Chris Coyne, State Farm 3. Back to the iron, gets his own rebound, 10-footer, up good.
Great, what a job. Good job, Nelly, by staying with it. You know, I think as a shooter, you realize sometimes when you're going to be long, short, you're the best guy to go rebound. That time Nelson figured out he was going to be long with the shot, followed it, and got about a 10-footer and knocked it in.
Lincoln back in front, 11-10. This is going to be a good battle tonight. Holman out front to Kincaid.
Not as high scoring as I thought.
No. Rice and Holman, the long three, up and got it. Jaquan Holman, a 5'11 freshman, launched a 22-footer and nailed it, and that puts Lanphier up 13-11. 2:32 to go.
First three-pointer by the Lions so far here tonight.
Biven out front, Polis, Biven, Polis to Biven. They must have scouted us because they're watching Polis pretty good too, not letting him drive or not letting him really even get a three.
Well, I think here's two where you miss Cook right at that free throw line or that baseline where, Klopp not as offensive as Cook to catch and shoot it.
And they know Klopp's probably not going to shoot it. Nelson, back out front, Polis. There's Biven, free throw line. Biven going to turn, goes to Klopp. Klopp, Hayes in a dangerous position in front of the Lanphier bench. Back out front, Polis. Nelson, Biven. Polis goes to Nelson. Lanphier is set up in almost a 2-3 zone, but at times it almost looks like a matchup, Josh.
Yeah, well, it's tough for the Railers, too. Oh, nice pass.
Nelson, corner, loads up the three, up, no good. Rebound, Hayes, 5-footer, up, no good. Rebound, Robinson. Robinson quickly ahead to Banks. Banks pushes the basketball, goes to Holman. Holman out of the corner, another three, got it. And that really has got the Lanphier crowd and bench fired up. 16-11, the Lanphier lead.
Yeah.
1:19 to go and a half.
Tough lineup here with Cook on the bench with foul trouble. That for the Railers, you've got Hayes, not a real aggressive scorer. Klopp, not a scorer at all. And where do you go to try and find points from this lineup?
Polis out front, Klopp. Hayes out front. Polis in the corner, Biven. Klopp in the lane. Kicks it to Polis. Polis going to dribble to the free throw line. He's cut off by two Lanphier defenders. To Nelson. And Lanphier, you can see that they're getting some confidence here. They're up 16-11, and they've been able to stop us from doing much of anything on offense.
Yeah, it might be one of the Biven guys. Biven being able to get to the basket on Ty Banks.
Lincoln going to hold for the last shot of the half. Polis out front, dribbling against his man, gets it to Biven, a near steal. Back to Polis. Polis wisely holds onto the basketball. 19 seconds to go. Lincoln down 5. Possession arrow Lincoln's. Nelson in the right wing. Nelson looking out front. Klopp to Biven. Biven looking for somebody. Looking against Robinson. Biven drives, kicks it back out Nelson. Nelson faked the three. Back to Biven. Biven's going to have to do something quick. Biven, 10-footer in the lane. Up, no good. And at the half, Lanphier leads 16-11. And you can see, Josh, a lot of emotion from Blake Turner as they go to the locker room. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the Grau Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic halftime show.
That is the end of the first half.
Roy S. Anderson with some nervous Railer fans as Lanphier leads 16-11 at halftime. Josh has got halftime scoring. Josh, not much scoring from the Railers, not many shots taken either.
No, you're right. It's kind of this, we saw it last night with a spread out zone against Muhammad, but then you add spread out zone with athletes that can cover and some quickness. It becomes a whole different ball game for the Railers, and Cook going out with 2 fouls hurt early in the second quarter, so you miss kind of your big guy around 5 to 8, 10 feet from the basket that we'd like to go to. We missed that, and you're right, just not a lot of field goals attempted even for the Railers, and minimal scoring obviously too, Jay. The Railers with 11, Cam Nelson with 8, and Peyton Cook with 3 for the Railers. The Lions were led by Holman. Holman had a couple three-pointers, also a deuce early in the first quarter. He's got 8 for the Lions, 4 for Ty Banks, 3 for Randy Rice Jr., and 1 for Robinson. So 16-11 here at halftime. And Turner was excited as he left the court. I think the Lions were excited. They've held the Railers to 11 points, and it might be something where they needed something like this. They've struggled 8-7 on the season, 3-4 in the Central State. They've needed a little momentum.
I'm not so sure, Josh. In some ways, this might not be a bigger game for them than maybe, I don't want to say that it is for us, but when we talk about maybe looking at a regional seed, if they can knock us off at our place, being we're 14-1 and they're 8-7, that's going to be nice on their resume when it comes seeding time.
I don't think there's any question about it. They need this win. The Railers, I think, do too. Really, obviously, you go into every game winning, and you never know about regional seedings and rankings and all that stuff. But you need a quality win against a quality opponent. The Railers have been able to do that on the road so far, and tonight would be a big one.
Looking at our schedule earlier, I think this is one of the tougher schedules that we've had in a long time because, Coach, the Apollo Conference with some of the opponents, Effingham is never an easy place to play. Charleston's an improved team. Muhammad's not an easy place to play. But then you look at Quincy coming in here, and you look at us playing at Rock Island. We've got to go up to Bloomington. We're playing all the Central State 8 opponents that we've got here. This is a pretty tough schedule, and it's going to have a lot of impact when it comes seeding on regional time.
Well, and I think that's why Coach schedules such a tough non-conference schedule is because of that regional seeding. It's to get you ready for regional action, and it can hurt you in some ways because of your record if you don't do well against them, but it can also help you because of beating good teams if you're winning, and also the competition level.
One team, fortunately, we missed was Sacred Heart Griffin. They're destroying practically everybody in the Central State 8. Again, Lincoln down 16-11 here at halftime.
When's the last time we've been down at half?
Oh, I can't think of when we've been
maybe
down at half.
Maybe Quincy. I'm not sure if we were down.
Quincy didn't take their lead until late in the basketball game.
Yeah, so it's been a while for kind of uncharted waters right now for the Railers on coming back from half. Does it bother them? Probably not. It's not like it's only 5 points, but then again, you're down at home.
Interesting, because I've seen Lawrence Thomas do this, and Ryan Mahan of the Journal-Register and I had a conversation about this. Do you wonder if at some point coming out here in the third quarter, Blake Turner might spread the floor and make us play a little chase, because he's got the 5-point advantage, and we aren't going to score points in a hurry. We know that. So,
and he's probably got the guards to do it.
Yes.
It's not unthinkable by any imagine, but you still got to play. And I think as a coach, once you do that, you become. We've talked about it before. The Railers have done this in the past where they just play not to lose, and I think you put that in your kid's mind that we're just going to hold it. Well, we're playing just we're scared of them. We're kind of scared to hold on to go after them. I don't think you want to do that. I'm not sure Turner will do that, but as you said, without the shot clock, that's a very good chance.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and send it back to the station for yet another 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back. Wrap up the halftime show and start the second half. Lincoln down 16-11 at halftime as Lanphier's made their way back on the floor. 2:45 before we start the second half. Josh, the Railette dance team was down at Charleston today in their competition. They placed first and qualified for state. So congratulations to the Railette dance team, and we hope they stay safe coming home up 121.
Yeah, a little slick out there.
Yeah, it is. And was worse to the east and south of here. Champaign had a bunch of accidents, as did Decatur. Railers make their way back out onto the floor, and we'll see. We're just moments away from starting the second half. Good time to tell you about many of our fine sponsors. Chicago Street Rentals, tip-off sponsor. Me Realty, the list of the game. I guess we would have put defense and stopping the transition buckets on here. We probably needed to put maybe having a little offense on here tonight. Top Hat Creamery, stop by before or after the game for a sweet treat in the Lincoln Arcade Building. Mike Mosky Auction Service, phone 217-519-3959 or go to moskyauction.com. Me Realty and Town & Country Bank are streaming live video sponsors. Town & Country Bank, a proud sponsor of Railer basketball. At Town & Country Bank, their mission is to help empower the financial well-being of our communities one person at a time. Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln. Whether buying or selling, trust the professionals at Me Realty. For more information, check out merealty.com. Worth & Associates Realtors, honest and caring realtors serving Lincoln and Logan County since 1974. 217-735-3411 or go online to worthrealtors.com. Heartland Community College is Lincoln's community college. At Heartland, you'll get the personal attention and support you need to be a successful student. Discover Heartland, discover your future. Visit heartland.edu/Lincoln. Hey, Josh, we got a math professor at Heartland standing right next to us. Old Lloyd is teaching the kids math out there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and trying to do it online, no less.
And bringing you Railer action about 8 days a week.
Yeah, we're going to be busy this week, aren't we, Lloyd, with all the girls' games and the boys' game Saturday against Quincy. Both teams in front of their respective benches. Lanphier clad in black uniforms, trimmed in orange. Josh, those numerals, I hate them because they're tough to read.
Yeah, you're right. They are. And the Lions with the momentum going into halftime, and we'll see if the Railers can't come out here and get some of it back for themselves. You know, we kind of got it going on when Nelson hit a couple of Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointers, and we need to get that going. Try to figure out this defense a little bit. I think the Railers got to penetrate into the middle, get some drives going to the basket, a little bit like we did last night.
We got the ball to start the third possession. Arrow favors Lincoln. Josh, the first 4 minutes of this quarter I think going to be really important.
Yeah, I tell you, who was really good about playing against the 1-3-1 was that team with Bowlby and Cook and all those, Gavin Block and all those guys, because they get it in the middle, and Bowlby would be lurking around that short porch area, right where Cook is now.
Cook turned, throws it up off the board, and it didn't go in, rolled around and out.
I'm not sure how he even got it up there.
I'm not either. Lanphier works it around the perimeter against the Lincoln defense. Nelson's flattened out a little bit, trying to cover Robinson there in the middle, who's trying to screen off Nelly. Kincaid in front of the Lanphier bench, and Holman playing catch with it. Now they're going to go into Banks. Banks going to post up, 10-foot turnaround, good.
Yeah, and they may try to go to Banks right in the post against Cook, because Cook with the 2 fouls. Banks obviously is strong enough and a good enough athlete to score on Cook underneath, so they may look to go to him right away.
18-11, the Lanphier lead. Into Cook. Cook back out front, Polis. Lincoln's offense stretched out quite a bit. Polis drives Nelson in the corner. Inside Cook. Cook going to try and go up. Lost the ball. Saucy recovers it. Saucy at the free throw line. Out to Nelly. Out to Polis. Polis goes Bivin. Bivin going to try and go down the lane. Bivin going to initiate some contact. Didn't get the call. Throws up a 5-footer. Rolls across the iron. No good.
Boy, 2 in and out for the Railers. 1 with Cook and now Bivin with 1. And Lanphier comes down their first possession and gets a basket. So not the start you want for the Railers.
Here comes Banks. Shake and bake move. Goes up. Good. Ty Banks is starting to take this game over, Josh. And timeout Lincoln. Neil Alexander going to bring his troops over. And it'll be a 30-second Top Hat Creamery timeout. Josh, let's go ahead and keep it right here. I'm sure Coach isn't happy about the fact that Banks has come out and scored 2 quick buckets.
Yeah, I think he's okay with the shots that we got in and out for two jump shot-ish layup area shots. But again, Banks with a post up against Cook on the first possession, and then he kind of shake and bakes and get to about 5 feet away and throws up a floater and gets it to go. So, you talk about Banks, who I think was probably projected to be an All-Stater or at least for sure first-team All-Conference in Central State 8. So, a guy that the Railers have to count on or at least to concentrate on. And so far here in the third, we haven't.
Lincoln down 9, 20-11. Josh, I know we've not been down 9 in any game we've had so far this year. Polis in the backcourt. Polis looking to go to Nelson. Out front, Polis. Lincoln really spreading the floor. Polis against the Lanphier defense, and boy, they're spreading that defense out pretty far.
Yeah, we've really been stuck on that one side of the court too, almost all game too. It's been that right side of the court. We got to reverse the basketball, get some movement, get some cutters, some flashers. See if Bivin can right now get to the hoop.
Bivin going to go down the lane against Robinson. Layup time, got it.
Yeah.
Jake Bivin with a strong move.
They're spread out so much, and the Railer offense is spread out around the three-point line that the Lions are coming out to get him. Bivin's got to put the ball on the floor and get to the hoop.
Rice, Holman, Banks in front of the Lanphier bench. Banks will bring it out front. Swing it to Rice, right wing. Back out front, Banks. Banks, Robinson screening Nelson. Goes to Holman. Holman, long 3, up, no good. Rebound, ball on the floor, and Rice, just quickness, got the rebound. Kick out Banks. Banks goes down the lane. Ball knocked away. Oh, and they're going to call a foul. Banks is wanting the continuation. He didn't get it.
Well, I don't know that this guy Banks' back was to this official, and the guy right in front of us had a good look at it. No call from him.
Rice to inbounds the basketball. Foul was on Cam Nelson. That is his second. Lanphier works the ball around the perimeter. In the corner, Rice. Rice back out front to Kincaid. Kincaid, Banks. Back out front, Kincaid. And I see Lanphier spreading it out just a little bit. Yep, Lanphier looks like they're going to go maybe almost to 4 corners, Josh.
Yeah, and we talked about this. If I remember right, I've seen them do this in the past before. And you said at halftime that wouldn't surprise you if they did it again here.
Banks, Kincaid, Holman. Holman kicks it into Banks. Banks stopped by the Lincoln defense. Robinson nearly threw the ball away, and Holman comes up with it. Back out to Banks, inside to Rice. Rice turns around, and Cook, I think, may get nailed for number 3.
Step slow to the basketball, the rebound, and Cook unable to get it. Rice able to grab it, keep the possession alive for the Lions, and then a quick pass in from Banks into Rice, and not necessarily a little guy, but not a big guy, was able to get the foul called.
Well, you don't want to say phew about the foul, but Rice misses the first free throw, and the foul was called on Tyler Saucy. That is his first, so it keeps Peyton Cook from getting that third foul.
Rice at the free throw line for Lanphier.
Second one for Rice, up and got it. 21-13, the Lanphier lead is 8. 4:37 to go here in the third quarter. Saucy, Polis. Polis in the corner, Nelson. Back out front, Polis. Polis to Saucy. Saucy to Polis. To Saucy. Now to Bivin. Saucy. Tyler looking for somebody to get it to. Tyler now in a little bit of trouble. Counts on. And timeout taken by Lincoln to stop the count. It will be a 30-second Top Hat Creamery timeout. Josh, let's keep it right here. We can't let the defense come to us like that, Josh.
Well, and you get guys in situations where they have to put the ball on the floor and drive, and that's not a strength of Tyler, and he gets stuck there where then he picks it up or takes a dribble, picks it up, and now that Lion defense becomes even tighter on everybody else because he can't dribble anymore, can't find a passing lane, and Coach Alexander has to call a timeout.
Don't want to belabor the point, but this is probably a game where we really are missing Aiden Gowan.
Yeah, another ball handler, another guy that has a chance to get to the hoop. So it's against this defense, you've got to be able to have guys that can get to the basket, and as we've seen this year, that's kind of one of the faults of the Railers so far. They've got a couple guys. Bivin did it here early in the third quarter. We know Paulus can do it, and I think those guys are going to be the two guys that have to do it.
We thought their quickness would be an issue, and it has been tonight. They've been very quick to the basketball and quick to the basket as well. Paulus, Sassi in the corner, Bivin, back out front, Sassi looking again to Bivin to Sassi, cross-court Paulus, as the Railers spread the floor a little bit, out front Sassi, Bivin, now across to Nelson, corner Paulus against Banks, contact, no call. Paulus now in trouble, gets it to Cook, baseline. Cook surrounded by two guys, back out front to Paulus. Long three, up and got it. A Chris Coyne State Farm three. Josh, that was a tough shot.
Well, he kind of faked like he was going to pass it out, and then he hit Banks right in the chest. Banks fell off of him, and then Paulus kind of regrouped and knocked it down from about 21 feet. So a big basket there for the senior, exactly what the Railers needed. A couple of stops here, Jay.
21-16, the Lanphier lead. 3:23 to go here in quarter number 3. Not a whole lot of stoppages of play. This game's gone by pretty quick, Josh.
Yeah, you're right. Not a lot of fouls. And it's just two zones going at each other. There's not a lot of attack in the basket. You don't have a predominant post player who's going to draw a bunch of fouls. So this game will go fast.
See, Lanphier, they're spreading it out again. They put Banks in the middle. And Rice has got, out front is Jashawn Richards back in the basketball game for Lanphier. Richards to Kincaid. Robinson's posted down low. Banks up high. Rice in the corner, back out front, Richards. Lanphier content right now to eat a little bit of clock.
Yeah, they are way out, and as your buddy Mahan would have said, it's about time for that clock if you're not going to be aggressive and get to the hoop.
Richards against Bivin. Back out front, Kincaid. Richards, Kincaid. They're probably hoping we fall asleep and they can get an easy bucket inside.
I think you do something that you're not used to doing. This defense is not used to doing, and you gamble, you overreact, and then you get an easy basket for Lanphier. So that's what they're trying to do. It's pretty early in the game to do that.
2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. They run almost a minute off the clock here. Richards, screen from Robinson, didn't take advantage of it. Richards dribbles the ball out front, goes to Kincaid. Kincaid on Bivin. Rice and Lanphier playing out beyond the volleyball line. There's Richards, Kincaid, Rice. Back out front to Kincaid, to Deshaun Richards. Richards out front to Rice. Rice to Richards. A minute 35 to go here in the third quarter. Baseline Robinson. Robinson cut off by Sassi. Robinson nearly traveled the basketball, gets it out to Rice. They're not even looking to score right now.
No, this is boring. Just like this, like the student section's telling them, this is boring.
Out front, Kincaid. Josh, this can backfire on you too, because you quit attacking the defense, your kids get complacent sometimes.
Well, you're right, and they've started out in the third quarter well too, and I don't know why you'd take that away from them, but Coach Turner seems to think that might be the best chance for them.
Baseline Rice up and got it. Rice got the bucket. Sassi and Paulus in the backcourt. 23-16, the Lanphier lead is 7. 47 seconds to go here in the quarter. Be nice to get a bucket here. Maybe a three. Paulus way out front as Lincoln sets their offense. Now Bivin will go to the free throw line, cut off by Robinson. Paulus dribbling the basketball out front. Kincaid on him. And now to Bivin, back to Paulus. 26 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Paulus, fake to drive, goes baseline, Cook back out front, Paulus. Paulus, long three, up and got it, a Chris Coyne State Farm three for Elijah Paulus with 16 seconds to go. 23-19, the lead cut to 4.
Yeah, a lot of time here left here, 10 seconds left here in the third.
Paulus on Banks out front. There's Richards. Richards lost it to Polis. Polis takes 18-footer up and no good, front of the iron. And at the end of 3 quarters, it's Lanphier 23, Lincoln 19. We're going to send it back to the station for this 60-second timeout. Back here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Josh, not as high scoring as we thought it maybe might have been, but this is a tight basketball game right now.
Yeah, Lanphier very patient, obviously, in that quarter, extra patient with their offense, looking to get the right shot. They held the ball for, I would say, roughly 2 minutes, I would say, in that period, and then got a layup by Rice. But big three by Paulus to kind of get those Railers back into it.
Lanphier the basketball to start quarter number 4. Jaden Conway in the game, going to take over point duties on the defense.
Yeah, also Trey Schilling in the game for Biven, probably trying to get those guys a break. You know, Nelson and Biven played all that game last night.
In the corner, Holman. Out front, Rice. Conway's putting a little bit of pressure on him. And in the game, too, Cam Davis, 6'3 junior for Lanphier. And Lanphier content still to be out beyond the volleyball line. And now the Lincoln defense picks up a little bit. And Saucy's going to get nailed for the foul going for the basketball. That'll be 2, I believe, on Tyler. And the team's third foul. No fouls yet on Lanphier. 3 on Lincoln here in the second half. Davis inbounds to Rice. There's Banks inside. Banks lost the basketball, and Lincoln fights for the basketball. And what's going to be the call? Oh, and they're going to nail Elijah Polis for the foul, Josh, going for the basketball.
Yeah, and we had a couple chances, I think, to grab it. Conway missed it, and the Railers could have had a turnover there.
Davis kicks the ball into the backcourt to Devon Brady. Brady in the basketball game for Lanphier to Rice. Out front, Kincaid. Holman. Holman is in the basketball game for Lanphier. Kincaid still out front against Conway. Goes inside Banks. Banks down the lane. 8-footer in the lane. Around and out. No good. Ball to Rice. Rice throws it back up. No good. Banks gets the rebound. Puts it back up and in. 3 chances, Josh. They're bound to get a basket. And Blake Turner is going to take a timeout. And it looks like it's going to be a full Top Hat Creamery timeout. No, it's going to be a 30-second timeout. Teams, let's see, standing around Neil Alexander. So let's go ahead and just keep it right here. 7:01 to go here in the fourth quarter. Lanphier now up 25-19.
Yeah, the Railers got to stop there. Rice missed the putback, and then didn't get the rebound. You know, kind of standing and watching. Banks went and grabbed it.
You know, I don't want to sound like a homer, but Josh, that's a tough call against Polis. You had 2 guys going for the basketball, both of them pushing on each other.
Right.
And I don't know how you call a foul on one over the other.
Yeah, two going after the basketball. But before that, I think it went through a Railer or 2 hands to be ready for it. So we weren't ready for the turnover, weren't ready for the rebound, and that kind of what happens. You know, you're not ready for the rebound, the loose ball, and then you get picked up for the foul.
Drew Hayes in the basketball game, going to inbounds the basketball in Lincoln backcourt. Hayes to Polis. It's Polis, Hayes, Conway, Trey Schilling in the basketball game for Lincoln. Trey had a nice junior varsity sophomore game tonight. Conway, out front, Polis. Dangerous cross-court pass to Schilling, back to Hayes. Hayes going to take it down the lane, 8-foot layup, no good, and got the foul.
Yeah, good take by Hayes. Good job, too, also of meeting the pass by Schilling. There was a long pass, so cross-court from Paulus to Schilling. Schilling meets the pass and then kicks it to Hayes. Hayes tries to get in the middle of the lane and misses a shot, but is going to go to the free throw line for 2.
First one up and good. Ice in his veins, swished that one through.
Yeah, he wasn't particularly great from the free throw line in the sophomore game, but we're taking it now where it counts a little bit more.
Second one for Hayes. Eyes at 25-20. The Lanphier lead, 6:42. Plenty of time in a basketball game. Next one in and out. Banks will haul down the rebound. The Lanphier lead is 5. Conway pressuring Banks in the backcourt. Quickly ahead. Here comes Rice down the lane. Stumbles. Layup time. Good. 27-20 the Lanphier lead, and Randy Rice with 8. Polis, Conway in front of the Lincoln bench. Out front, Elijah Polis. Polis started the drive, kicks it to Conway, to Polis in the corner. Polis against Banks. Polis looking to take Banks and takes him baseline, tries the layup and got knocked out of bounds by Robinson. Nice block by Austin Robinson, the 6'6 junior.
But I also like to take by Paulus, too, getting to the basket and trying to make something happen, something that the Railers have not done a good job so far in tonight's game.
Polis looking to inbounds. He'll throw it back to Schilling. Schilling in front of the Lincoln bench. Trey Schilling back to Elijah Polis. And now Schilling will set up in the right corner. Polis to Schilling to Polis. Polis, cross-court Conway. Conway looked at Hayes. Conway in trouble. Counts on. Conway in trouble. Gets it to Cook. And Lincoln takes a timeout. Coach has to use yet another timeout. It will be a full timeout. Let's go ahead and send it back to the station for 30 seconds. We'll be back in just a short period. 5:46 to go in a basketball game. It's Lanphier 27, Lincoln 20. Right now, Josh, their quickness is really hurting us.
Well, and we've got a different lineup in, too, that we're not accustomed to. So the ball handling's got to come from someone else than Paulus. And right now, Raylor's not looking to attack when they get Bivin. Looks like he's going to check in now for Schilling, or check back in for Schilling. And Jake's got to be one of those guys that kind of, gets to the hoop and puts on a little pressure on the Lion defense.
Cam Nelson comes back in for Conway. Bivin out front, Polis. Polis between the legs, dribble out in the circles. Goes right wing, Bivin back out front, Polis. Polis to Bivin. Bivin goes Cook. Cook going to go down the lane, spin move. Nope, kicks it back out front, Hayes. Hayes down the lane. Hayes turns, fires, Robinson. Blocked the shot. And coach wanted to foul there. 27-20, the Lanphier lead. 5:17 to go in the basketball game. Well, Josh, given the fact that they've already shown us they'll hold the ball for 2 minutes in the third quarter, at some point you've got to believe they are going to put the ball in the freezer.
Yeah, I think you're going to. And right now the Railers with 4 team fouls, so we're getting close to that area that you may need.
Banks to Robinson. Robinson layup, good. 29-20, the Lanphier lead. Lincoln in a hurry. Here comes Polis. Polis goes into Hayes. Hayes, Polis, the senior drives back to Hayes. Ball knocked away. Bivin the basketball. Good pass, Polis. Polis threw up the layup. Didn't get it. Bivin comes out of there with it. Layup time, good. 29-22. Lincoln cuts the lead to 7, and Greg Alexander exhorting the defense.
And you kind of see that a little bit of quickness panic almost from the Railers, and which there's plenty of time left. 4 minutes and 26 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
There's Banks against Hayes, senior against freshman, and Bivin goes up to block the shot, and Banks is going to draw the foul. Foul is on Drew Hayes, his second. And the Railers' 5th. Won't be long that Lanphier will be in the bonus. Ty Banks going to go to the free throw line. Josh, Ty Banks is a ton when he gets it inside with his quickness and strength.
Yeah, you're right. Almost unstoppable for the Railers when he gets it that deep. The Railers have, done a pretty decent job, really, of keeping him out of there. He's stayed around the perimeter quite a bit, but when he gets it there and he wants to attack, it's tough for him to stop.
Banks, second one at the free throw line for the 6'4" junior. Up and good. Ty Banks knocks them both home, 31-22. Lead back to 9 for the Lanphier Lions, 4:20 to go.
Give Banks 12 on the night, and it's been a tough 12, but he's got him.
Hayes, good baseline pass to Cook, and Cook tried to make a move and got stopped by Robinson, kicks it back out. Paulus way out front, almost near the timeline, start the offense. Hayes going to go down the lane. Hayes, 8-footer up and good. Nice move by Drew Hayes down the lane, 31-24, the Lanphier lead.
Yeah, the Railers got to get some stops. We can kind of match them from scoring, but it doesn't do us a whole lot of good.
In the backcourt, Holman to Banks. Banks nearly traveled the basketball to Rice. Lions playing keep away right now. Holman and Kincaid out front beyond the volleyball line, and the Lincoln defense extended, and Rice is behind the Lincoln defense.
Well, and they've always got that outlet in the middle that they can get it to Banks, who's a tough customer underneath there.
Ball batted away by Bivin. Baseline. Ball knocked away, and it's going to go Lincoln basketball. It was off of Robinson. Robinson couldn't handle the pass from Holman. And yet another timeout taken here. This one's going to be the mass timeout. So let's send it back to the station for a 30-second message from one of our fine sponsors. Back at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, 3:26 to go in the basketball game. Josh, we're 7 points on the wrong side of the score here. Lanphier up 31-24.
But with a lot of time.
Yeah, we still have a lot of time in a basketball game. And I don't know if they're a particularly good free throw shooting team or not. They haven't shown it really so far.
No, Banks seems to be. He's 2 of 2 from the line. 2 of 3 from the line is Randy Rice Jr. and Robinson just 1 of 4. So if you get to that point, it looks like number 20, Robinson might be the guy.
And I got to believe that the ball is going to be in the hands of Banks quite a bit in the last 3.5 minutes of this basketball game. Paulus will work against the Lanphier defense to Bivin. Cook flashes free throw line. Paulus way out front. Paulus, Bivin. Bivin back to Paulus in front of the Lincoln bench. Paulus left-handed dribble. Trying to set the offense into Cook at the free throw line. Cook going to go down the lane. Cook against Banks.
Nice shot
off the glass and good.
Yeah, nice Banks shot there by Cook. And I know my dad is loving that shot because he was the guy that always told me to use the bank board. And that time, Cookie with a nice shot.
Nice shot by Peyton Cook. 31-26 the Lincoln lead. Peyton Cook with 5. Lanphier goes inside Robinson on the baseline. Trapped by the Lincoln defense. Now he'll kick it back out to Kincaid, to Holman. And now Lanphier going to spread the floor and make us chase. Out front, Holman, Nelson on him. Kincaid, Bivin, Paulus, the near steal. Rice in the corner, Robinson. Banks is posted inside against Hayes. Lanphier content to play catch with the basketball. 2:25 to go here in the basketball game.
Yeah, Nelson, Bivin, and Paulus going to have to be really active on the top here. Don't have to do a whole lot of gambling right now, but you can be really aggressive and try to reach, try to go for the passing lanes.
Banks kicks it into Rice. Rice layup time, good. Randy Rice Jr., that's 10 points for Randy Rice Jr. It's 33-26 the Lincoln lead. Paulus picked up his dribble, gets it to Bivin. Bivin to Paulus. Lanphier still putting the pressure on. Paulus going to drive down the lane, look to get something, gets it to Hayes. Hayes drives. Hayes spins around Robinson, left-hander up, no good. And Robinson gets called for the foul. Got to love the aggressiveness from the freshman, Drew Hayes, Josh.
Yeah, he's a guy that can get to the basket too, and a post guy that can get there. And so Hayes has got to step up here. Big free throws for the freshman now. Railers down 33-26 with 1:46 left. So some free throws the Railers need.
First one for the freshman, Drew Hayes. 3 points on the night. Back of the iron, up, no good. Jalen Conway in the basketball game. Cam Nelson going to take a seat. Again, Lincoln down 33-26, a minute 45 to go in the basketball game. Lincoln with 5 fouls, Lanphier with 2 in the half. Hayes, second one up and missed them both. Banks will come down with the rebound. Doggone it. Banks and Holman in the backcourt. Now Banks. Banks fouled, I believe, by Jalen Conway in the backcourt.
Yeah, now the Railers will have 16 fouls, so now the Lions will be in the bonus here. So you've got to think almost as much as the Lions have held the ball on us that the Railers have to be aggressive on the certain guys that they want to send to the line.
Conway with the steal on the floor. He's going to get called for traveling, diving for the ball. Josh, we get the turnover and then something goes awry.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was a little bit pushed from the back. We had a bad angle at it, but good pressure defense by Conway. And then I don't know if the feet got tripped up, but it looks like the Railers really want to get a hold of him.
And Banks will get fouled by Cook at the half-court line.
Yeah, I don't think they were wanting to foul Banks. They were looking to foul Robinson.
That's what I thought.
And none of the officials were ready to blow the whistle.
Greg Alexander over there wanted to foul when we had Robinson. He didn't get it. And unfortunately, he got the ball to Banks. Ty Banks, 6'4 junior, probably their best player, one of the premier players in the Central State 8. First one up and got it. 34-26 to Lanphier lead. A minute 21 to go in the basketball game. Second one for Banks at the free throw line. Think miss. Railer Nation, second one up, and you did it. Nope, it dropped home. We thought it was going to be a miss, and it dropped home. Polis, the basketball. Polis quickly down the lane. 15-foot turnaround. Up and good. Elijah Polis with a nice turnaround. Timeout taken by Neil Alexander. Yeah, Top Hat Creamery timeout. It will be a full timeout. Let's send it back to the station for a 30-second message from one of our fine sponsors. Back at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Nail-biting time here at Roy S. as Lincoln is down 35-28 to the Lanphier Lions. Josh, minute 13, still got time in the basketball game.
Oh, yeah.
Just need to have some good possessions here.
Plenty of times, but you got to make sure you foul the right guys. I don't think Banks is a guy that you want to foul 4 of 4 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. It's Robinson. And sometimes when you get to that time where you want to foul, you can't be too delicate, and I know guys aren't trying to hurt people, but you got to be pretty forceful with your fouls to make sure the referees call them on the guys that you want fouled. And I thought the last possession the Railers were just a little timid on fouling Robinson. You may have to put some red mark on an arm.
Ball in the backcourt, and Lanphier breaks the press real quick, and Cook's going to get called for the foul on Kincaid. Well, that'll put Cam Kincaid at the free throw line. Josh, he didn't have any points yet tonight?
No points for Kincaid. Not sure he's even shot the ball.
Might not have been a bad foul then.
Yeah, we'll see here. No Lion on the free throw line for Lanphier. So the Railers, I would hope, can secure this rebound after a hopeful miss.
Peyton Cook 4 fouls, and Kincaid nails it. 36-28 to Lanphier lead. Kincaid, second one up and got them both. And now Lanphier is going to take a 30-second timeout. I'm not sure Blake Turner wanted that timeout. He's questioning the official, but it's a 30-second timeout for Lanphier. We're going to keep it right here. Josh, 37-28, do you start thinking about threes, or do you go ahead and go for twos?
Well, this you still got enough time. I think you still got to worry about getting to twos, although Lanphier can still be aggressive on defense because they've only got 2 fouls. So they can still play out in the perimeter, but I still look to go to the basket and get 2s. They don't want to foul and put the Railers to the line where they got a chance to score with the clock stop. So the problem with 3s is if you don't make them, more than likely you're not going to get the rebound. So then now you got a foul. Now you put yourself down a possible of 11. And you almost set yourself out of this thing.
They're going to come up with some full court pressure and try and make us eat some time up into Bivin. Bivin, ball nearly knocked away. Polis, the basketball at the half-court line, and he'll get it across the half-court line as Lanphier goes man-to-man as Banks fouled Hayes 35 feet from the basket.
Well, I think they're wanting to kind of take a couple 10 seconds off the clock and then foul, make your reset. So the Lions can do that because they only had 2. Now they've got 3 fouls. So we'll see which way the Railers want to go here.
Nelly, corner Bivin, out front Nelson, Hayes going to drive down the lane. Another 8-foot hook shot up and no good. Rolled around and out. Robinson the rebound quickly ahead to Kincaid. To Rice, layup time. He missed it. Ball on the floor. Cook pulls it out of there quickly to Polis. Polis quickly up the floor. 45 seconds to go. Polis fadeaway 3 and didn't get it but got fouled. Ty Banks is going to get the foul here.
They're going to call it 2 shots. Paul's foot must have been on the line.
And Elijah Polis to the line with 2 shots. Second foul on Ty Banks. Polis with 8 on the evening. And the officials conferring here now. And Neil's going to argue, I think, that it was a 3-pointer. It sure looked like he was behind the line. Of course, the student section boxes us off. And Polis will nail the first one. And that's 9 for Elijah Polis. Polis, second one, 37-29. Lincoln down 8. Second one up and go, 37-30. Polis with 10. 39 seconds to go. Lanphier still in the backcourt. Ahead quickly to Banks, and the foul committed in the backcourt, I believe. Yep. Foul committed in the backcourt by Lincoln. I think Randy Rice is going to go to the free throw line. See who the foul call is on. Elijah Polis is going to end up with the foul. That is his second. And Lanphier 1 away from the double bonus. Randy Rice Jr. with 10 points on the evening. They've got 2 guys in double figures, Rice and Banks. First one for Rice, up and good. Line drive shot, nailed it.
Yeah, I give him credit, though, Jay. The free throws for the Lions now 7 of 7 in the fourth quarter. So give Lanphier credit. They've knocked the free throws down.
Second one up and good. Hayes quickly inbounds to Polis. 39-30, the Lanphier lead. Lincoln down 9. Polis dribbling, goes down the lane, goes up against Robinson and got the foul. Austin Robinson's going to get called for the foul, and Elijah Polis going to go to the line with 2.
Still like to drive by Polis. 28 seconds left. I know a lot of people think there's not a lot of time left, but still like the drive for the senior.
First one up and good for Elijah Polis, 39-31. That's 3 fouls on Robinson. Second one for Elijah. The senior nails them both. That's 12 for him on the evening, 39-32. 27 seconds to go, and it looks like Conway fouled Banks on the sideline. Yep, Ty Banks, the 6'4 junior, going to go back to the free throw line.
Banks already 4 of 4 here in the fourth quarter. He's got 14, leading scorer for the Lions.
Ty Banks to the free throw line. He'll have 2. First one for Banks. Up and good. Well, give them credit, Josh. They're nailing free throws.
Absolutely. They're haven't missed here in the fourth. 9 of 9.
Banks will have 1 more. Second one up and no good. Cookie the rebound. Cook quickly to Polis. Polis quickly up the floor. 22 seconds to go. Polis step back 3 up. Back to the backboard. No good. Rebound ball on the floor. Robinson. And that just may do it. Holman quickly up the floor. Lays it up. Polis, well, thought he had to block. He's going to get nailed for the foul. And Kincaid's going to go to the line for 2 shots. Cam Kincaid, the 6'2 senior, drove baseline. Polis went for the block, got called for the foul. And that'll be 3 on Elijah. Kincaid, first one up and good. Well, Josh, we've had an opponent break 40 for the first time, I believe, this year.
You're right.
Second one up and good. And really, they've done it from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Polis, long 3 at the gun, no good. Banks will haul it down, and we've got 5 seconds to go, and that will run out the clock here. With Lincoln down 42-32, Lanphier is going to go on to victory as Ty Banks slams the ball to the floor out here at near half court. And the coaches shake hands as they go by each other on the receiving line. Let's go ahead and send it back to the station for a 2-minute timeout, and we will come back with the Grau Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic postgame show.
Lincoln 32. The Lions improved to 9-7 overall on the year. The Grau Splitters will fall to 14-2 overall for this 2021-22 season. Grau Splitters are back in action next Saturday, a week from today, Saturday, January 15th. Grau Splitters will host the Quincy Blue Devils here at Roy S. Game time will be 6 o'clock and 7:30. JV tipping off at 6 o'clock, and the varsity at 7:30 next Saturday against Quincy. Ladies and gentlemen, we do wish to remind you that the roads are very slick outside. Please use caution while walking out to your vehicle in the parking lot. Take your time. That will conclude basketball action for this evening. On behalf of all of us at Lincoln Community High School, thank you for attending tonight's game. On your way home, please drive safely. Be aware of your surroundings, and always buckle up. Good night.
Back here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, where a dejected Railer crowd files out of here. Very happy Lanphier crowd files out of here as the Lions win at 42-32. My broadcast partner, Josh Connick, has got the final scoring for you.
Yeah, really a good fourth quarter for Lanphier. They scored 19 in the fourth quarter, and that's really what separated this basketball game. Really good from the free throw line. First start out for the Lions, they were led tonight by Ty Banks. Ty Banks with 15 points. Banks was 5 of 6 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. Give 12 to Randy Rice Jr., 8 for Holman, 4 for Kincaid, and 3 for Robinson to round out the 42. The Lions shoot 14 of 19 from the free throw line, but 3 of those misses were in the first half. So really, really good free throw shooting down the stretch for the Lions. The Railers tonight led again by Paulus. Paulus with 12. 8 for Camden Nelson, all in the first half. 5 for Peyton Cook, 4 for Jake Biven, and 3 points for Drew Hayes. The Railers finished with 32. The Railers 6 of 11 from the free throw line. So, I don't know if we expected games like this, but it was a struggle again to get the ball to the basket. It was a struggle to find where the openings were against this Lanphier defense, and tonight it kind of showed.
Do you think maybe we can sum this up in one way, that it's their quickness really that really bothered us tonight? They were quicker to the ball. They were quicker to the ball. When it was loose, they were just quicker to the ball, and they were able to recover a lot of times. If we beat them sometimes on the when they were playing defense, they were quick. They were able to use their quickness to get back and cover somebody.
Well, what is it? You can never teach quickness and size.
Well,
so it's tough. We kind of saw the same defense last night against Muhammad. They just didn't have this quickness.
No, and that's probably, Josh, I would say the quickest disciplined team that we have faced all year.
Well, and they took the air out of it. And when they did take the air out of it, a lot of times when teams do that, they tend to turn it over after a minute and a half because they're not accustomed to that. It looked like Lanphier had done that before this year, and then they got points after taking 2 minutes off. You remember a couple drives by Banks, or he got it to free throw and then kicked it down to Rice, and Rice was able to make a couple of layups. So when you take a couple minutes off the clock and then you score, man, it really hurts.
Yeah, it does. And, really, Josh, we can't fault our defense tonight. Our defense really played pretty good. They got layups tonight, yes, a few. They got a lot of points from the free throw line.
Yeah. Well, they did, and give credit to Lanphier. They sometimes teams that don't shoot the ball well aren't great free throw shooters either, but they were tonight. 14 of 19 from the line, and in the fourth quarter, they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of 12 in the fourth quarter.
So 11 of 42 points come in the fourth quarter for Lanphier as they win at 42-32 as we wait for head coach Neil Alexander to make his way over here. So the Raiders dropped to 14-2 on the year. This was a non-conference game. Lanphier improved to 9-7. And the Raiders get a chance to get some revenge this Saturday. Josh, against Quincy, we'll try and get their voice of the Raiders, Scott Kirby, out of mothballs and have him, hopefully he can start a new winning streak Saturday.
Yeah, we need to change it up. Although, you got 3 games this week, 3 tough ones. The Raiders were at Charleston, at Muhammad last night, and then come here. No excuses. Lanphier was better tonight than we were. But we got some guys that need a little rest, maybe get a few banged up injuries or, bruises and stuff to heal up. It's a nice week to do that.
And it's a nice week to have maybe some practice after a game like this, although maybe the kids won't enjoy practice. Practice, I don't know, is ever fun.
Right.
But it's going to be some good teaching moments for the staff as they go through this week after dealing with this Lanphier squad. And maybe you show these kids what you can do against Lanphier and what you can't do against Lanphier.
Well, and it's a good week to go back to the film because we've got film now on Quincy. We've played them once down in Collinsville, lost 33-30, and you've got some things to obviously the long court kid is a guy that you've got to look after, and then we held the Talon kid, Talton or something like that, Talton kid to a pretty good scoring day as far as against the defense for us, but he'll be raring to go again, and I'm sure that Quincy team will be ready.
If you scouted us, Josh, I don't know why you would play man-to-man against us. I think that we're going to see a lot of zones the rest of the year because we got it last night against Muhammad Seymour. We got it tonight against Lanphier. And I don't know why you would play a zone against us.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think you're going to see more and more of that if that particular team can do it. And I wasn't expecting Lanphier to be able to have the patience to do that, but they did, and give them a lot of credit. They got out on Nelson. Nelson got loose early, but I think all his points were in the first half. A couple of threes, and then they really locked in on him. And then it kind of shows what that Raidler offense needs to work on, and some of those guys need to work on to get to the hoop.
There was something I noticed about him a couple of times. I think he rushed a shot a couple of times because he heard the footsteps. He saw the guys coming, and he was trying to rush to get that shot off. And at some point, he's going to learn that maybe that pump fake and go by the guy, which is not really in his game yet, but he did hit that nice little about 10-footer off the rebound. He's got that mid-range jumper in his game.
Yeah, and as he experiences more of that, and he will have to because everybody knows he can shoot it now, he'll have to do different things to find different ways to score. And and he put in his average right at 8 points tonight. And just we're all early.
Again, waiting on Coach Neil Alexander. Let's go ahead and send it back to the station for a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back with more of the post-game show. Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Jay Hart and Josh Connick, where Lincoln goes down tonight 42-32 against arch rival the Lanphier Lions. Josh, just felt like it was a Central State 8 game tonight, going back to the old CS8 days.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to get Lanphier back and to see them here at Roy S. Anderson, and the style that they play, and I think they probably had a little more excitement than normal just because it is Lincoln, and they probably needed that for themselves.
Well, and it's something that maybe not younger guys don't realize, that hey, you put that red and green uniform on, you just now have a target on your back because somebody wants to beat you. It will be a feather in somebody's hat to say that they came into Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium and beat Lincoln. I mean, we've won nearly 700 games in this building against about 180 losses, and to say that you came in and beat Lincoln on their own floor, that's quite a feather in your hat.
Well, as you go throughout the season, sometimes it turns from conference games to non-conference games to regional seeding games, and I think you said it well early on that this is a big win for Lanphier in the regional seeding standpoint of this, because their record isn't great as far as a win-loss, but this will help them in that regional seeding. Where are they going to get seeded? And when the coaches sit down, or they probably do it online now, don't even get to see each other's face-to-face, but when they do that, they're going to see Lanphier won at Lincoln when they were 14-1. That's got to be a quality win.
Oh, I think it's a quality win for them, and I mean, we're still going to come out, I think, Josh, with a nice seed in the regionals if we can just finish out the year playing like we have been. But I think also, too, for them, it was a big win for them. And we saw Blake Turner's emotion at halftime. He really wanted this basketball game.
Well, and I think, too, when you look ahead to Saturday, it's how did the Railers come off of a loss? And then going into a game when you've already played a team and you lost to that team. So you're staring in the face of possible back-to-back losses. We'll see how well the Railers react in practice this week and how fired up, because one game next week, there were 3 this week. You got to wait till Saturday. That's a long time. Coach probably give them a couple days, maybe a day here, a day practice, a couple days, give them a day off or some shoot-arounds, light stuff. But how will they react to a loss going into a team that they've already lost to?
Yeah, and we're probably going to see somewhat. We know we're going to see a press against Quincy, with Quincy playing against us. They do play a version of the 1-2-2, and we're probably going to see some zone half-court defense from Quincy. They played it against us down at Collinsville. We led 3 quarters of that game, and you're right. It's going to be interesting to see how do we react to this loss, and how do we come back against a team that has beaten us already. Quincy's a very good basketball team, folks. They play in the Western Big Six Conference. They've got a talented freshman in Bradley Longcore, a 6'5" kid in Jeremiah Talton, who is a Western Illinois University recruit at this point in time. And I think they get the big kid inside, that Keyshawn Johnson, was a 6'4" freshman.
Yeah.
And he was he was able to back people in. Well, still waiting on Coach. Haven't seen any of the players come out yet. I haven't seen any.
No, I think it's maybe a rather long talk here before probably a day off tomorrow, and and as crazy as it sounds, this virus thing that keeps going on is you never know what's going to happen, and that's the thing. You've been covering the girls, and they've been hit by it, and you just don't know. It seems to be progressing, unfortunately, and I think if you're the Railers, you got to try to stay healthy from that, and obviously injury, and then come back to school on Monday and kind of regroup.
The surging is what I think they call this virus. I mean, Lanphier lost a game last night because of U-High being on COVID protocols. There have been games canceled all over, a lot for weather tonight, but there's still some COVID protocol cancellations going on. I know, listening this morning to one of the sports shows, the directors of the Rivalry Holiday Tournament, which starts next week, they've got COVID protocols in place because they're expecting that they would probably end up losing a team or 2 in that tournament. So we hope we're going to have 3 girls games this week. We've got Tuesday night against Bloomington, the girls. We have Thursday night with the girls, or is it Friday night, Lloyd? Friday night with the girls. Mattoon comes to town. That'll be a good game. They were already beaten Mattoon once and lost to Mattoon once. That'll be a key Apollo Conference game. And then we got a Saturday game here for the girls at home, 2:30 in the afternoon. afternoon, and then we play here Saturday night with the boys against Quincy. Josh, a busy week for WLCN.
Boy, you guys are going to be on the, well, not necessarily on the road too much, but you won't have a voice by Saturday.
No, probably not. And Coach may not have a voice after he's done in the locker room right now. Well, we're still waiting to see if Neil Alexander will join us for the post-game show. You know, Josh, looking at the remainder of the Railers season, and I know we've had a couple of games rescheduled in the Apollo, but looking at the remainder of the Railers season, again, Coach put together quite a schedule this year. We've got to play at Rock Island. Rock Island's got a new coach up there. We've got still to play at Mattoon. Mattoon's got the big kid. We've got Effingham, both at home and on the road. Effingham's never easy to play against. And we've got to play at Decatur MacArthur. That's the next to last game of the year. And then we finish out the year against Mahomet Seymour. There are going to be some tough contests coming down the stretch here.
Well, and a lot of games, too.
Yeah.
You look on the schedule, and, it's kind of nice that first part of before Christmas, you get a chance to have a couple breaks and all that. And we ourselves get a couple breaks as well. But then, boy, after Christmas, it's game. And that's the fun part of it as being a player. You don't have to practice as much, but it can be tough on your body, especially when midweek. We never experienced the midweek games. It was all Friday and Saturday, so you always had that week to rest and recover. These guys normally will get an Apollo game on a Tuesday or somewhere else, where this week we had a game on Wednesday and Friday and Saturday, and that's a good week.
3 games this week. Lincoln goes 2-1 this week with the 3 games this week. Had a nice tournament down in Collinsville. Coach was satisfied with that, coming out of that tournament 3-1. I think we were in pretty good shape coming out of that tournament. Now if we can just make sure we stay healthy and get healthy, it'll be nice to get Aiden Gowan back in the lineup, Josh. Give Coach a little bit more freedom with his substitution pattern.
Well, not quite sure when that's going to happen. I haven't really talked with Coach much about that. Hopefully he's back by next Saturday, which I think he would be. But, also, speaking of Aiden, when you get back from that, you've got to have a few days to get back into somewhat shape.
And Coach talked about that with Darren Stevens. They were having some trouble getting him back into the conditioning after he had a bout with the virus. It affects different people in different ways. Some people come out of it with no ill effects whatsoever, but Darren Stevens had a little bit of trouble coming back from the virus, and it could be Aiden may have the same trouble.
Could be, yeah. Hopefully he gets back healthy, and we're ready to see him back on the court.
42-32, the Lincoln loss, and no signs of Coach just yet. Let's go ahead and send it back to the station. Tell you what, let's send it back to the station for 2 minutes while we wait for Neil Alexander here on the postgame show. His way up here for the post-game show with the trusty Diet Coke in hand. We'll get him his headphones, let him get a drink here, and go to the post-game show. Well, Coach, tough loss tonight. Lanphier's a good basketball team. They are very quick, and they showed it tonight.
Well, they were quick. They're quick to the ball. Coach Turner's been in and out. He's had COVID, so he hasn't been with them. So they're a different team when he's on the bench. And I thought they just outplayed us. They were more aggressive in every phase of the game. Don't take it. They are a good basketball team. I don't think their record indicates how good they are. We just weren't as sharp as we have been. We struggled against their zone. We weren't aggressive to it. We didn't have people looking to shoot, didn't have people looking to drive until the fourth quarter, and we didn't force anything to happen. So those things happen. We played 3 games this week, but we only play once next week, but after that we play 3 games the rest of the season a week. And maybe we've got to be more aggressive versus zones, because I'm afraid we're going to see more of them.
Well, that was going to be my question, Coach. Typical Lanphier would be a man-to-man, three-quarter court, maybe full court, man-to-man pressure. They came out in a zone. Had you scouted them? Did you think they were going to bring man, or do you? And also, do you think you're going to see more zone as the season goes on?
I think we'll see more zone as the season goes on. You saw Lanphier where they went one possession man. We shot a layup.
Yeah.
We can get to the basket a little bit, and basically we got kids that are good against man, struggle against zone. We got kids that are good against zone, struggle against man. So you got to try and weigh it out and see where you're at. But we got work to do. But we knew all along that things like this were going to happen. We would struggle to score, and the thing that I was, like I said, we played 3 games here this week, but that's no excuse. You playing your rival, you come ready to play, and I didn't think we were very aggressive.
Well, and almost you talk about the rival part of it, Coach, but maybe to these guys it isn't. You know what I mean? Just because they haven't been because they haven't been a part of that part of it, and maybe it's now Effingham to them.
Yeah.
To me, it was Lanphier or Springfield or whoever it was, but to them it may be different. But as you said, give credit to Lanphier. I thought down the stretch they were really, really good. They held the ball. Not only did they hold the ball, if teams like Lanphier normally hold the ball, they tend to turn it over because that's not what they're used to. They got layups, and then they were great down the stretch on the free throw line.
Very much so. I don't know what we were. We didn't shoot many to begin
6
with.
of 11.
Yeah, and that's not good enough. And we struggled all week with free throws, and I don't know. We talked about it in there. Is how focused are you when we're spending our 40 minutes every morning shooting free throws? Are you standing there talking with people, or are you focused on your free throws? And we try to talk to the kids about the mental part of it and being prepared mentally, and I'm a big guy on that. I think half the game is mental preparation and how you're going to play, whether it comes from picturing it in your mind about your perfect shot, making a free throw, how do I block out perfectly and attack the ball. We got our hands on some balls tonight and just didn't come up with them. I mean, we tried to dribble, they just flew out, and you got to be able to handle them, and we didn't. And they bumped us, they got physical with us when we were trying to do those things, and we will be better. I will tell you that.
Elijah Polis had a pretty good basketball game tonight, knocked down some big shots in the second half, a couple of threes that wasn't sure he was set to shoot him, but he shot him and got him anyway. But had one over here in front of the student section. It was a fall-away 3, or I thought it was a fall-away 3. He got fouled. They only gave him the 2 shots. Was he behind the line?
I thought he was. I don't know. We're going to look at it and see what happens. But, that's not – I mean, we got beat 10 points.
Right.
That didn't make the difference. The difference was they outplayed us. They scored on the boards. When they wanted a rebound, they got a rebound. When we needed a rebound, we couldn't get one. Those are difference in games, and there's a couple things. We lost a shooter first half. We were up 11-10, bang bang, 2 threes, and we go in down 16-11 at halftime, and that just little things, and you can't lose track of them because, believe it or not, we're going to be a possession team the whole year. And we can't give up over 40 points, and even tonight wouldn't have been enough.
Josh and I talked at halftime that they might come out in the second half and slow the basketball game down, and that's exactly what they did in the third quarter. They ended up running off, about 2 minutes there toward the end of the third quarter, just slowing the game down and making a chase.
Got a layup.
Yeah, and then got a layup out of it.
Which even hurts worse.
Yeah, it does. And, we've got... that's another issue. We can't fall behind because, if we're down, 6 points? For us to make up 6 points in a quarter, that's a big deal, playing a team like Lanphier.
We talked about that, too. That's like we weren't going to make up those points real quick.
As years past, we could be down 10 points and feel comfortable, but and that makes it harder on the kids when boy, we got 6 points to make up here, and when we're having trouble scoring anyway, and, But there was one play. We were, I think it was 4 or 5 points, and they got 3 shots down here and scored a layup. If we'd have got that and had a chance to go down, I think that was right after Elijah hit a 3. But it seemed like we had a little something going, but we couldn't get the rebound. And we got to work on it. I think. I talked to you guys about how much time we spend offensively. It's going to have to come to a point we spend some time on defensive and work on our rebounding a little bit. Because, again, that's something we talk about. That's something as a basketball player we feel they should be able to do. But we're going to have to spend a little bit of time on it.
Okay, you've got a disciplined team coming in Saturday that you've lost to down at Collinsville. In Quincy, they're not quite as quick as Lanphier. They're probably a little bit size-wise bigger than Lanphier was. It's going to be important to see how the kids react from this loss and how they go into that Quincy game.
Oh, no doubt. We got, and they're going to think, 30. They want to score points. They score a lot of points in their basketball games, and I'm sure they're going to try to push the tempo when they come in here and just see what they can do. But, we got a lot of work to do. We're not going to practice Monday. We'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we've got enough practice time to prepare for them, and hopefully after the week here of 3 games, we'll give them a couple days here to get their legs back, and we only got 1 net, but after that it's 3 a week.
Well, Coach, we're going to let you go. We know you're tired and probably want to get home and navigate the skating rink that may be out there in the parking lot or the roads. I know they've been salting out there. And it's pretty slick out there, so be safe going home.
Yeah, we will. I got a long way to go.
Yeah, he can walk home.
Thank you.
Well, Lincoln goes down 42-32 tonight. Coach Neil Alexander on the postgame show. That's going to wrap it up for us here in Lincoln. Our next broadcast will be the girls, 6th-ranked girls team on Tuesday night as the Lady Railers are at home against Bloomington. For station manager Jim Ash, for studio producer Winnie Ransdale, for our on-site engineer, the Professor Lloyd Kirby, for my broadcast partner Josh Conmack. This is Jay Harden. Once again, final score: Lanphier 42, Lincoln 32. Railers now stand at 14-2 on the year. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast, and we know Railer Nation did not enjoy the outcome. Please patronize our sponsors and say thank you for allowing us to bring you Lincoln Railer basketball. From Lincoln, Illinois, good night and thanks for listening. Let's send you back to the classic rock experience on the Nighttime Fix 96. Folks, it's slick out there. Be careful.